Download the free practice worksheet on this topic or take a practice quiz at Mathcation.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another awesome math video from Mathcation. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to find the perimeter of a semicircle. As you can see, there are three important things we have to remember in order to find the perimeter of a semicircle. The first thing we need to know is that the formula to find the perimeter of a semicircle is perimeter is equal to pi times r plus 2 times r. R in this case is the length of the radius. The radius is from the center point to an edge. If you're given a problem where your semicircle has a line drawn across the entire length of the circle from one edge to the other, this is the diameter. If you're given the diameter, you have to convert it into the radius by dividing by 2. So you'll take whatever the diameter is, you'll divide it by 2, and then you'll get the radius. Once you have the radius, you can then use it in your formula for perimeter of a semicircle. After determining what the radius is, you will multiply it by pi and then multiply it by 2, and then you will add those two products together to get the perimeter of that semicircle. And if you're learning anything right now, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on other helpful math videos. Let's go ahead and get to work and start on our first practice problem on finding perimeter of a semicircle. This problem gives us a semicircle with a dashed line from the center to the outer edge, and it is labeled as 6 inches. Now, because this dashed line starts in the center and goes to the outer edge, this will be the radius. So the radius of the semicircle is going to be 6 inches. Now that we've determined the radius, we can go ahead and use it in our formula. So perimeter equals pi times the radius plus 2 times the radius. So everywhere there's an r for radius, I'm going to replace it with the 6 because we know the radius is 6. From here, we're going to follow order of operations, which means we have to do multiplication first. So we're going to do pi times 6, and we'll get 18.85 plus 2 times 6, which is 12. You have to do multiplication before you do addition. And then to get the final answer, you're going to add those two products together. I'm going to do 18.85 plus 12, and we will get 30.85 inches because that's our unit, and this will be the perimeter of this semicircle. Let's go ahead and move on to number 2. This problem gives us a semicircle. This time, our dotted line is labeled with 7 feet. Again, our dashed line starts in the center, so we know this is going to be the radius. So it's from the center to the outer edge of the semicircle. That means our radius is going to be 7 inches. Once we know the radius, we can use our formula, which is pi times the radius plus 2 times the radius. We're going to go ahead and substitute in a 7 everywhere we see an r because radius is represented by the number 7. So we're going to say pi times 7, which is 21.99, plus 2 times 7, which is 14. After that, we're going to add the 2 together, and we're going to get 35.99, and our units are feet, so it's going to be 35.99 feet for the perimeter of this semicircle. Finally, moving on to our last practice problem. Again, we have a semicircle, but what's different this time is that our dashed line runs across the entire length of the semicircle. So it runs across the middle and then from one edge all the way to the other. This is what's referred to as the diameter. Now we have to use the radius for the perimeter of a semicircle formula. So we're going to go ahead and divide this diameter by 2 because the radius is just half of the diameter. So it's just from the center of the circle to the edge. So this is the radius. Now that means we're going to take this 10 inches, and to change it to radius, we're going to divide it by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now this 5 is going to be our radius. Now that we know the radius, we can use our formula. Perimeter equals pi times the radius plus 2 times the radius. And everywhere we have the radius, we're going to use the number 5 because our radius in this case is 5. So I'm going to substitute those in. And I'm going to multiply pi times 5. I'm going to get 15.71 plus 2 times 5, which is 10. And then to get the final perimeter, you add those together. So that's going to be 25.71. And we are in inches for units. So it's 25.71 inches for the perimeter of this semicircle. And if you want to do some more practice problems on finding perimeter of a semicircle, go ahead and click the link in the top right part of this video to be taken to a practice quiz that will grade itself and tell you how you did. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you got something out of it, and drop a comment telling me if this video helped you or if you need help with something else. See ya!